cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in too. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in too. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta
listen. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host, Freddie G, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. And you can find us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And if you're on YouTube, please don't forget to like and or subscribe. What's up, fellas? Welcome to another True Tuesday. Today I thought we discuss an issue that's going on that I don't know if it's talked about enough, but human trafficking, man. It's a serious issue that's going on in America, and I thought we discussed the. Well, first, let me back up. Human trafficking is basically the modern day slavery, involving the use of coercion, fraud, or force to recruit individuals into forced labor, sexual exploitation, or organ harvesting. And again, this is a problem that's happening in America, and I thought we discussed, the top 10 cities that this is going on, that has this problem. Starting with the top, we're gonna go 10, count down.
Okay. And this is U.S. Is this concentrated on the U.S.?
Yeah,
only?
U.S.
Okay.
cities.
Okay.
U.S. cities, and the 10th is San Diego, California. And I can see this, with San Diego being close to the Mexican border.
Yeah.
San Diego?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, you know how easy it was for us to go back and forth,
right?
Well, it being in the military, but
I mean, we were also stationed in California too, so we
look at the lifestyle.
It's like the women are just giving it away. So I would put it on cities that I don't know is different, like cities where it's a demand. Sex was a demand. I wouldn't think San Diego would be that high.
Sex is demand everywhere.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we were stationed there, so it wasn't hard to really get. That's what I'm saying.
But think about it. You've been to Tijuana, right?
Yeah. I went a couple times.
So the lifestyle that they were living, the poverty.
Yeah.
They'd be desperate to, and it would be easy to. I would think it would be easy
to port them from San Diego. I got you. Tijuana too. I got you. Coming into okay.
In regards to sex exploitation, but I mean, I'm sure it's other reasons that they were.
I was thinking about people that were getting kidnapped from San Diego, taken somewhere else. You saying people that they're bringing imported into. Okay, that makes sense
for trafficking.
Yeah, of course, coming from. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was number 10. Number 9. Dallas, Texas.
What?
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Dallas?
That's right down the highway, huh?
It
Texas.
Not far at all.
3.5
Texas
hours.
appears one more as one of the worst human trafficking offenders in the U.S. with labor and sex exploitation problems, affecting all of its major cities, including Dallas. And going back to San Diego, it does mention being close to the border, which is causing their majority of their issues.
Yeah, exactly. Now, San Diego. Dallas. I do know back a long time ago, so maybe over some 20 years ago, there was a guy. I can't remember his name, but the girls used to always talk about him. He was a pimp. He had like 18 girls in some mansion in Dallas. So I could see that. I can really see that because I'm like. Yeah. 18 women in one house. How you do it? Not saying it's just damn. Let's just
that one. He wasn't pimping them.
No, he was pimping them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was pimping them. So yeah, Dallas I can see because I've heard about that guy. I don't know his name or anything of that nature, but I just heard a lot of women talking about him.
Yeah, I'm curious to this to the number 8 city, Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah,
I just can't see Columbus being a city that
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's happening everywhere, but you don't hear much happening in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, but they said the crime is kind of high there.
Well,
so,
probably.
because of the jobs and stuff like
Yeah.
that, job market.
No jobs.
Yeah. And that's why I was leading to earlier when I was saying I couldn't see San Diego being a for demand, but I can see Columbus, Ohio.
You can see Columbus,
As far
you
as
can see San Diego.
well, San Diego's plethora of women. I don't see a plethora of women in Columbus, Ohio. You get what I'm saying? It's a smaller city,
Yeah.
not that many women. So it's the demand for women are probably needed there versus San Diego. Get what I'm saying?
I do in a
Yeah.
sense, but again,
So
it's
that's
just
why
hard
I was
for me
like-
to exclude Mexico being right there and how easy it would be.
Right. Well, I'm talking about the demand. Like, guys, we are the ones that want women. So Columbus, Ohio probably don't have a plethora, a variety of beautiful women. So they would need those women. So I see why they made the list.
So you saying it's ugly women in Columbus?
I'm not saying they're ugly. I'm saying they're just not the same quality. You gotta think San Diego's near Hawaii, so you got beautiful Hawaiian women coming, you got beautiful Hispanic women coming, and then people that are already in San Diego and Japanese and different types of varieties. But Columbus, Ohio is near none of that.
But
It's
But that
just-
don't mean everybody in Columbus, Ohio is ugly.
I didn't say they were ugly. No, that never came out. That was his question.
Oh, okay.
That was K
'Cause it
Money's
sounds
question.
like that's
no,
what you
I'm saying the
insinuate when you-
variety of women, the plethora,
type
the variety,
of-
the type.
San Diego being more of a vacation spot.
Yeah,
so they would
there's
attract
different
those
types of women,
I
so they
got you.
can
Okay.
be lured. So,
Yeah.
you not gonna would you find a Russian woman in San Diego or would you find in Columbus, Ohio? Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Well,
The
believe it or not,
demand.
for Columbus, it says human trafficking data places the state of Ohio among the top 5 worst states in the U.S. So it makes sense that its sizable state capital with a large immigrant and transient population is among the worst cities for this type of crime. So it sounds more or less, yeah. Number 7, Atlanta, GA.
Wow.
I can see that.
Yeah, we can see that. That's like the trading capital of the world. That's what I call the black trade capital where everything go down.
There's a
in
lot
Atlanta.
going on in Atlanta.
Yeah,
lot.
I'm surprised it's not probably. I thought that would probably be a lot ranked a little higher. Honestly
Right.
speaking, because like you said, it's a lot going on
It's
in
a
Atlanta.
lot, yeah.
Different. The different type of sex.
All kind of stuff
exploit.
going on
Yeah,
right there, man.
Exactly.
We're gonna move on. Number 6, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say Nevada is the only U.S. state with legalized prostitution.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas is one of the
course.
country's top entertainment spots. So yeah,
Yeah.
You got a lot of
exactly.
rich men, rich guys go down to Vegas to gamble, and
But
you know,
what I don't understand, if it's legalized, why would you have to be trafficked if you could just go there and do what you do? I don't know how sex
Well,
workers
think
work. I
about
don't know
it.
how it's done and why it's
because
done.
if something's legalized, it means it has rights, or
Right.
it has certain rules you have to abide by
Mm-hmm.
being legal that you probably don't have to do if you just do with sex traffic.
Right.
I don't have to pay this fee yearly. Because if it's legal, it's got to be something that makes it legal.
That's smart on Vegas's part, man. In my opinion, just imagine if they were to legalize weed here in Houston.
Right.
How good it would do for the
Oh.
revenue for the city.
True.
So just imagine with Vegas and all the entertainment that's going on,
It's-
how much money
yeah.
and gambling and all that.
It's helping.
So to legalize the prostitution,
Yeah.
they should be winning.
Yeah.
They should be.
Should be. I didn't know it was legal though.
I didn't either.
Well, they have those little ranch houses, but you got to take a test and all. From what I hear, I don't know how it go. I've been doing it from the movies, so
For what you hear.
yeah. From what I hear, you got to take this and do all this. I don't know. I be watching little
Too
shows
much
on
for you to
HBO.
go through every
To
time.
get somebody in, I ain't gonna be hard. I ain't want none. Gotta fill out some paperwork and man, I'm good.
Like, what, too much personal information.
Yeah,
you trying to
I'm
be discreet.
I'm just trying to tab. Why I gotta fill out some paperwork to tab? Fuck it, I'll fill out the paperwork. Shit, how many pages? Let me stop. Okay, that's enough.
Let me see.
Yeah, let's go to number 6 or 5 or wherever we at. Oh, that was
It's number 5 here, Chicago, Illinois.
I can
Chicago,
see that, yeah. Next to the waters and up there near Canada and all
Yeah,
that, yeah.
I can see
I
Chicago.
can see that. Yeah.
Chicago, that's the Windy City, huh?
The Windy City.
Windy City. Now they should be on pretty much any kind of heavy crime city list. It is because Chicago has got it's rough all the way around.
It's cold.
It actually says the city of Chicago has always had a serious sex trafficking problem, and since the mid-2000s, it has specifically flagged as a hub for child prostitution.
Wow.
I did not. You know what's so crazy? There's a show called The Chi. I don't know if y'all watch it.
Yeah, I've seen
but
it.
the very first season, this little dark girl, she gets abducted. She gets kidnapped.
Yeah. So they're pretty much showing the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right off the rip. And I never understood. Why did they throw that in there? Now that you just said that, you just educated me. That makes sense now. Now, because I was wondering why it doesn't match with the writing.
Right.
Why are you throwing this in there? Right. But now I see it now. So now, okay, shout out to The Chi.
So you were saying the abduction in the middle at the beginning of the
yeah,
show?
it just was like it was going good. What you do that for? Why did that happen?
Yeah.
So now I get it. Now that you just announced that they're number 4 and they're number 4 on that list, right?
It's a part of their culture in that city.
So now I get why it was in the script.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because they put a lot of stuff in there that just unnecessary. Still a great show, but I see why.
So how did she end up? The young lady that was abducted. How did that end? If you could recall.
Did they find her? The killer?
So what happened was at some part of the show, the man slipped up, and she was able to
get away,
dip out the front door.
Yeah,
and somebody saw her that knew her, and then
I've seen it. I just can't recall.
Yeah, that she was able to get out because she ran track. Because that was the big thing. She always was running. If you the show so start, she's always running track.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Mm-hmm. Number 4, D.C., Washington, D.C. And that's surprising for the nation's capital to be in the top 5 for human trafficking.
But
why do you think that's surprising?
I just feel like, as far as the security or the
because it's a politically driven portion.
Law enforcement, I mean, not security, but which is the same thing. But I just think with the amount of law enforcement that's around.
But think about this too, though.
You don't think that there's just the same amount of law enforcement here?
No.
I honestly think it's more because that's where
I lived in Virginia. It's ridiculous how much law enforcement is on the East Coast versus anywhere else. Anywhere that's the closer you get to the White House, the more law enforcement. Somebody told me that. I didn't know, but it was ridiculous.
Do you think that this human trafficking is closest to the White House? And do you think that the security that you're speaking of is more closer regarding the White House, the Pentagon, and the treasurers, and all of the other government places around there where the security is there? I would think that your larger cities would have more law enforcement.
Yeah.
And with Houston being the 4th largest city in the United States,
right,
I would think that the law enforcement would be a little bit more, just like New York. Law enforcement would probably be more than Houston.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying in regards to the larger cities. It's like right up under your nose, you know what I'm saying? It's happening right up under the nose. So that what type of law enforcement do these cities have?
I want to bring this to the forefront because it's Washington, D.C. What we got to realize is that's not even a part of America. They have their own set of laws.
District of Columbia.
Yeah, that's not even America. So
there's no state.
That's not a state. So they're going to do it how they want to do it.
Right.
Here's something before you go to your next one, K Money. I sat back and I listened to y'all. And here's what I don't think y'all are factoring in when you think of human trafficking, right? So you automatically, when you hear states that are closer to the border, you associate, I can see that state because of Mexicans and stuff. And so you can unconsciously associate human trafficking with just Mexican and Mexican alone, right?
Right.
Well, what you got to factor in is you got Asians. When they come over and they get these massage parlors and all of that stuff, right? Then you got to factor in the young girls who are online who are being tricked
Yeah.
by these pimps or whatever,
Yep.
and they're young and they're here already in the States. So that's where you get human trafficking, because it only becomes trafficking if you go from one state to another.
Right.
So now you're trafficking, right? So you got to factor into that. Now, when it comes to the Mexican borders, you look at coyotes, right? And they're promising, okay, let me bring you over to the U.S. for your better life and better job or whatever. And what they do is they kind of kidnap you, and they force you into working sex. Same thing with Asians. They'll trick you to come over here, and then they force you into these nail salons, and so they're being tricked by their own people in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
Right.
And they charge
So-
you these. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but charging you these prices that if you can't afford it, then
Yeah, we're
you-
gonna force them into slavery,
Yeah, right. I
right?
can see
So,
that.
so it's not just. I can see how these places like Ohio, for an example, right? When you're not closest to the borders, it's not just associated with what's on the borders. It's these people tricking their own people to come in,
Right.
and then it's these youngsters online that's being tricked by these guerrilla pimps,
Right.
and then force you to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It says for D.C., the nation's capital is host to major economic disparities, further exacerbated thanks by racial inequalities, making it fertile ground for human trafficking activities. All right, moving on to number 3, and I can see this one easy. And I'm surprised that it's separated from San Diego, but Los Angeles is the third city with the worst human trafficking violations.
I can see Los Angeles.
You know, and that actually, with what you were just saying, Freddie G, a lot of people go to Los Angeles looking, to make it big and get their dreams shattered and they're in
And then they
desperation
end up-
mode. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see
Hollywood
Yep.
Yeah,
does it.
it happens every day, I'm sure. And then in Cali. California is the worst offender out of all U.S. states when it comes to human trafficking violations, due to part the fact that California is the most populous state in the country.
I would have thought it was Florida because the Cuban, all the other islands over there, the Virgin
When you
Islands,
think
the
of populous
Cuban,
states, you think of California and New York.
and Miami, Florida. Well, they buy the waters. That's where all the dope come from. So I figured the dope and the girls and the everything.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I would have thought Florida would have been. It's not even on there. Well,
Well,
we
we
go through your
might
list.
not have got there
Yeah,
yet.
we might not have got to it.
It says also Los Angeles is the largest city with a huge gap between the rich and the poor, and with lots of hopeful people arriving to chase their dreams. Yeah. Number 2, New York.
New York.
New York.
Big city of dreams.
You can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Being the most international and multicultural metropolis in the U.S. with its share of poor populations and criminal organizations, New York City is among the top hubs for human trafficking activities. A lot of the movies I see that does involve human trafficking, it makes it easy. It seems like because New York is so congested,
Yeah.
it's easier to occur in New York.
Yeah. And see, if you're a visitor, you don't go down in the neighborhoods. You stay where sightseeing. Go to Manhattan. Don't go to the Bronx.
You probably definitely look out of place. So
Yeah.
those are the ones that they target. I'm sure.
Yep, that's true.
Number 1 city, y'all want to guess? You were mentioning Miami earlier.
I said
Comedian
Miami,
96.
Florida. I would have said Miami, Florida because of all the drugs.
I say Houston.
Miami is all that's left.
I say Houston.
Yeah.
Freddie G say Houston. You say Miami.
Say
Slash.
Miami. I agree with Miami.
I'm surprised, man. H-Town is the number 1.
H-Town is number 1, man.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Houston.
I ain't gonna lie, on Tubi TV, all them Bensonet Street.
Okay, but
movies.
who here? I didn't know it was that major here. They
I
don't
did
talk
not
about
either.
Well, I mean, you got to look at Bissonnette, the infamous Bissonnette.
Bissonnette,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I mean,
But Bissonnette clean right now, right?
yeah, I mean, look at. Well, Dallas did make the list, but
Okay, but keep in mind, you may not be able to physically see
See it.
this, remember,
It's going on
the
somewhere.
trafficking, number one, we are close to the border.
That's one
That's
reason.
number one.
Right, that is
But-
one reason.
But also, man, you got these youngsters, like I mentioned before, they're being tricked online too. And
Yeah.
then when they're bringing people here too. Hey, man, this is a live city.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a live city, man.
It is.
So yeah, if you a pimp and you in Kentucky somewhere, let me bring my hoes to Houston.
Yeah.
And think about it, we're also diverse. So
Yeah.
just like you were mentioning the Asians earlier,
Yeah.
it's all type.
It's
Asians,
everything
not
down
just
here. Yeah.
the Mexicans, but
It's
the Asians
everything,
I can
yeah.
see happening here. But yeah, the immigration is the main.
That's why.
That's why the immigration, probably
Yeah.
more than likely.
But sex trafficking is just not the only
Yeah.
thing. They got people probably working for little or less.
Yeah.
You think about when we go to Home Depot, all these Hispanics.
yeah.
And because
outside,
we so
yeah.
diverse, I think too,
Yeah.
it's open up for all of them.
Yeah. That's true.
But like I said, man, these are just the top 10 cities, in the
there's
U.S.
more.
And again, I'm surprised that H-Town is at
H-Town
the
was
top of
number
that
one.
And
list.
you know what's so
Wow.
crazy? Texas
I'm not
got
surprised.
2 out
Yeah.
of the 8. They
Two
got
out
2
of-
out of the 8.
Yeah.
Well, I would have figured, Dallas, Texas,
You
Houston,
still got Waco, Austin,
but San Diego and
Antonio.
Los Angeles, I would
Yeah.
with those being close to the border, I just thought they would have been more like the top 5,
Yeah.
not just Houston and Los Angeles.
So my thought is, if you pull the top, say you did the top 25 with Austin and Waco and other little bigger smaller bigger cities in Texas, would they fall? Especially like Austin and San Antonio.
Well, you look at the list, the top 3 are big cities: Houston, New York, and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So that kind of says and kind of confirms what Freddie G was saying earlier. The larger cities.
Columbus,
the
Ohio,
more
and Austin about the
chance.
same size. That's why I say if you pull the top 25, would Austin fall in there?
Well, that
You
may
know what
be
I'm
another show, another time.
saying?
I
Yeah.
want to thank y'all for joining us again. I want to invite any listener and all our listeners out there to, if there's a topic that you guys want us to talk about, to hit us in our DM. And we'll be glad to discuss that topic, and we'll give y'all a shout out. Thanks for joining us. Peace. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for Women Wednesday with Freddie G. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Sky Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Sky Podcast. And for all you YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And to all my 52 Sky faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.
Like it's coexisting.